Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kazmi 107.1 FM and across the country at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokoni files fresh suit at the High Court, seeking a declaration that Shining Stars, a petitioner in the ongoing hearing against her, does not exist in law. Also coming up, government announces the immediate withdrawal of military protection for all civilians who are not legally entitled to such services, including some public officials. And much later, Minority Caucus calls on President Mahama to urgently lift the ban on the sale of public lands, warning the country may face a litany of judgment deaths should this embargo continue. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokoni has filed a fresh action at the High Court, seeking a declaration that Shining Stars does not exist in law. The organization is behind one of the petitions seeking the removal of the Chief Justice. Lawyers for the Chief Justice say there are no records showing the existence of any such organization. Let's walk you through the reliefs she's seeking from the High Court this time around. A declaration that the Shining Stars of Ghana does not exist in law or fact. A declaration also that the petition to the president allegedly authored by Shining Stars of Ghana is void on account of the fact that the Shining Stars of Ghana does not exist in law or fact. A declaration that purported prima facie determination in respect of petition by Shining Stars of Ghana is null, void, and of no effect. Also, an order to bring up into this court for the purpose of caution and accordingly caution the purported prima facie determination or finding made by the president in consultation with the Council of State. Now, we stay on issues relating to the Chief Justice because her lawyers have also today urged an Accra High Court for an expedited hearing. This is the case in which she is hoping to stop the 5-member committee from probing the petitions seeking her removal from office. The lawyers also told the court that they can only appear on Wednesdays and Fridays because of the committee's proceedings. They therefore asked for hearings to be handled expeditiously. The court has meanwhile set July 23 to hear legal arguments whether the Attorney General's request for the case filed by the Chief Justice should be dismissed. And we do understand that the government has responded to the Chief Justice. We'll be bringing you that very shortly. Ahead of that, President John Mahama has effective immediately directed the cancellation of payment of fuel allowances and allocation of fuel to all political appointees. The directive forms part of a broader curb in government expenditure aimed at cutting costs and channeling public funds into priority areas. A statement issued by the Minister of Government Communications, Felix Kwakye-Ofosu, on Tuesday, that's today, said. Now, the statement also said that the president believes that leadership must also bear its part of the sacrifices it is calling on the people to make. Let's bring you some more here. And the Ministry of Defense has withdrawn military protection from all civilians not legally entitled to such services. The directive affects public officials, former ministers, business leaders, and other individuals who have been benefiting from unauthorized military security details. Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah announced the policy shift in a statement on his official Facebook page, framing it as a critical step under the government's broader quote-unquote reset agenda. He stressed that the measure seeks to end the long-standing misuse of military personnel for private interest, a practice he described as a violation of the Armed Forces professional mandate. The minister issued a stern warning to military personnel, stating that any soldier found providing unauthorized guard or escort duties would face severe disciplinary action. The statement called for public cooperation, urging citizens to support the policy to ensure a more disciplined, fair and efficient use of national security resources. And we'll be bringing you a quick analysis on this very shortly. Some 6 minutes past the hour of 12, and stay with us. We'll bring you some more.
Hello, Ghana. It's a new year and Bills Microcredit is here to support your dreams. If you're not working but want to start a business, don't let money stop you. With just your Ghana card, you can get a loan to turn your ideas into reality. Already running a business? Need more capital? Or are you a salary worker looking for extra funds? Bills offers fast and easy loans with no collateral, no deposit, and no SUSI savings required. Wherever you are, whatever you need, Bills makes it happen. Call Bills Microcredit today. Call 0596 920 833 or 0302 200 390 and get started. Bills is licensed and regulated by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply.
Freezer, yeah, diaba. Adama for diaba, a freezer. Adama, a craftsmanship. Adama, Metimoso, my sorry. Canino, Obo Moasia. I do fresh the Nobium Union San last night. I don't know what we was here. Adama for Adna Craftsman who said, yeah, the Druba Cope, a ship will be a high technology. I go for freezer. When Kwan, and once open your 15 letters. No fugum, what ya no fugum. What the boss here, if you be any of us, you have got to say, over Timono. Then we sure say, woman shown task here. Then what's enough for now? Freezer, power up a day. Freezer, Dacia, a basson do so among Ammoniaji. To me, me what's it car? To me, but you may not do some doom. Adama, what that Adama, no queer. Adama, you can't resist.
Ubenya Adama West Africa for a dream, you baby bear a tongue cry who made you. I say, Kayone Kinkai in Choya, a dream.
And you're still here on the midday news on 3FM 92.7. Let's return to our earlier story about the government deciding to withdraw all military protection for all civilians not legally entitled to such services, and that includes some public officials as well. Let's speak to Dr. Victor Docker. He's security analyst. Good afternoon to you, Doc. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Let me first get your understanding or your impression of this decision by the government.
Well, first of all, personally, looking at the use of the military, sometimes we're having the military doing an escort for bullion vans when the spate of armed attacks against the bullion vans were high. In that space, I was questioning why we cannot have the police do that duties. And then now, military is for personal guard duties by some personalities in the space. So it's very worrying because when you go to other states, you wouldn't even find the military in the open space like this. We all know with regards to how the military is seen, discipline, when it comes to the mandate that they've been given, protection of the state and all of that. So when we have the military coming into our space, it sort of like brings some sort of scrutiny with regards to the activities of these military personnel. And also, we're talking about the aspect of their relationship with the civilians, which has come in recent times under scrutiny because of the way the civilians react and the military also reacts vis-a-vis issues of safety and security. So for me, I think this call is in the right direction, looking at what the mandate, first of all, is with regards to the military and per the law, who and who is supposed to benefit or to be provided with military security. Okay? Now, for what we have seen in recent days, you can see some military personnel and then even going extra, carrying files, carrying bags of personalities, which is quite demeaning of the personnel themselves. The state has really invested funds in training these personnel with regards to the security of the state. And when you have these personnel who have gone through rigorous training coming out to perform such duties, it begs to worry.
Now, I remember that after a number of civilians attacked soldiers, of course, which were received with reprisals, what other security analysts said was that because of the way we've quote-unquote misuse the military, people have lost the fear for soldiers. How do you think this decision will restore that reverence that people prior or hitherto had for the military?
It's very true. Some circles have argued that the more you expose the military into the open space, some of them, become victims of our everyday lifestyles, and unfortunately the negative ones. So they are exposed to these lifestyles, and then it affects their professionalism and their work. Exposing such men or women to our everyday lifestyle is not the best. When you talk about the aspect of security and military, it is only a section of the people that can benefit. By that I mean the president with some prominent people in the society that can benefit from the protection of the military. So when you have the military coming into the space, everybody calling for protection of the military, it demeans the integrity somewhat. The fear for that respect obviously goes down because we know what the military is built up for. So when we see them going out of that section or that role, performing other duties, which hitherto some other security agencies should be performing, it automatically brings down the respect, it limits the trust, and then they are seen, unfortunately, as one of those entities that is not good for the image of the military itself.
Now, if you look at the concluding part of the statement issued by the Defense Minister, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, he actually asked for support from the public to ensure a more disciplined, fair and efficient use of national security resources. What else do you expect the government to do in ensuring these very items that he's listed here beyond what the immediate step taken?
Right. Boldness. Now, whoever is not supposed to legally benefit from military protection, I think the first step has been taken. They should go all out. And all out, I mean that it's not just selective, approaches. Anybody that is not supposed to benefit legally from the military protection should be withdrawn. Now, with the support of the public, it means then probably is he asking for whistleblowing? Whoever is seen, and we go and verify if that personality is required to have a military protection. I think now what the decision the Minister of Defense and the military hierarchy have taken would serve a purpose with regards to enhancing the respect that the military has over the years commanded, and it will build professionalism more in terms of how the military will now come out into the civilian space and relate to the civilians.
Thank you very much, Dr. Victor Docker, for speaking to us.
Thank you.
And I heard that Dr. Victor Docker, he's a security analyst. We head to Parliament now because the minority in the House has called on the President to urgently lift the ban on the sale of public land, warning the country may face a litany of judgment debts should this embargo continue. Reading a statement on the floor on Monday, Member of Parliament for Subin Kofi Obri-Yeboah said that the President's directive to halt the sale of state land is causing severe havoc. His colleague MP for Wejagbawe Jerry Ahmed Shaib added his voice to the issue, indicating that land guards have taken over many public lands.
Although the present decision may aim at safeguarding public lands for the benefit of Ghanaians, this directive may also affect individuals, corporate entities who may have legitimately acquired interest in these lands. Although the directives by the President to halt all state transactions may have been issued with good intentions, it may pose serious challenges. Registration of state-owned lands, such as the Sumanche layouts, which are often owned by individuals and corporate entities, are now in limbo. It deprived the private investor, both individuals and corporate bodies, to use their legally acquired lands to secure loans from the bank. If indeed the government thinks that the private sector is the engine of growth, then the government, as a matter of urgency, should lift the ban. If care is not taken, the state will be saddled with a lot of court actions and judgment debt. As you speak, Mr. Speaker, several individuals and corporate entities have secured court judgment in respect of state lands against the Lands Commission. The Lands Commission, however, is unable to comply with the court judgment as a result of these directives.
Land guardism is now on the high. Land guardism is the order of the day. Mr. Speaker, unless my friends do not want to bear with me and to learn from me the truth, obviously not a bad step. But consequentially, what we have seen over the period, Mr. Speaker, lands which have been acquired by individuals who had to go through proper legal processes, Mr. Speaker, are being taken from them by all manner of people, including people now labeling themselves as national security operatives. They enter into people's land, in fact, including ones which have been registered and have been properly titled. They enter, forcefully take, and it brings about a lot of problems, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I speak with you, there are individuals who are even now fighting chiefs to claim lands that belong to government just because of this directive.
And you heard there what transpired in Parliament last evening over the minority's call for the President to urgently lift the ban on the sale of public land. And we still stay in Parliament because this afternoon, the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defence and Interior is paying a working visit to the Ghana Immigration Service as part of its oversight responsibilities. The visit is expected to give members first-hand insight into the service's achievement, ongoing challenges, and the support it may require. And my colleague Noble Crosby-Annan is with the committee. He joins us live on the phone. Crosby, what can you report? Hello, Crosby, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
What can you report from that working visit by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Defence and Interior on the Ghana Immigration Service?
Well, this forms part of their duty as the oversight duties to the Ministry of the Interior, where the Ghana Immigration Service falls squarely, and as well as some other security service or security agencies in the country. This visit primarily is to help them get first-hand information from the Ghana Immigration Service in terms of achievements, successes, as well as challenges so far since the John Dramani Mahama administration took office some 7 months ago. So it is presenting an opportunity to hear from the service personnel themselves, the leadership of the service themselves, in a closed-door meeting. But before the media was asked to excuse them, the Controller General of the Immigration Service, Mr. Basantale, he was grateful to the Select Committee for the help it has given the service so far in terms of legislation, amongst others. He is also asking for some more help when it comes to the implementation of some of the plans that the service has in its boxes. For the Select Committee themselves, they are also very particular about the work of the Immigration Service, and they are asking that they open up to them, talk to them about anything they may need, some of the achievements, some of the challenges as well, so that they can help them at the right time. However, they will not cease. They will not stop criticizing them, but they will criticize them constructively so that the committee or the work of the service will be better. The committee, the chair of the committee is here, as well as some other members, as well as some other leadership of the committee. James Algaga spoke on behalf of the committee, as well as the deputy ranking member of the committee spoke. So we can take a listen to what these gentlemen have been saying here.
I'm sorry, we don't have that yet, but are you able to tell us more as regards what we should expect from the committee today and beyond, perhaps?
Well, just one visit they are embarking on today. In the coming days, they have plans to visit almost all the other security agencies that fall under the Interior Ministry. They have plans to visit the Ghana Fire Service, the Ghana Police Service, as well as some other key agencies that fall under the Interior Ministry, so that, the purpose for this meeting, will get first-hand information on the work and how they, as members of the Select Committee overseeing the Interior Ministry, will be able to support when there's the need.
Thank you very much, Noble Crosby Annan. He is my colleague following the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament as it pays visit on the Ghana Immigration Service to the Ashanti region now. And spare parts dealers at Swami Magazine in Kumasi are expressing frustration over the lack of reduction in import duties at the port, even as the city gains strength against major foreign currencies. The importers say that they are paying even higher charges now, a situation they claim is severely hurting their businesses. They're also urging authorities to adjust duties to reflect the city's improved value, which would allow them to lower spare parts prices for customers. Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti regional correspondent. He joins us live on the line. Ibrahim, just tell us the specific challenges these dealers are facing due to the high charges.
Well, Beatrice, we all know that when the city started gaining its strength, there was some form of joyous celebration, because everybody thought that prices of goods and services will come down, and so was the spare parts dealers, because importing those spare parts and the amount of money they were paying, they thought the price will drop, so that will also reflect on what they are selling to customers. However, they say the situation is different. So currently, we know that $1 to CD is 10.43. That has been maintained. However, prices of some duties have been increased at the port by GRA. So, for instance, where they used to pay $500 to clear certain goods, it has been increased to $700, which means that if you convert that money into Ghana cedis, they will end up paying the same amount of money they have been paying over the years. That's how come they have still not been able to reduce prices of spare parts, even though they have been accused by drivers and other Ghanaians. So they want government to look at it. In fact, they said the government promised them during the election time that when it gets the mandate, it will ensure a flat rate at the port, and they want that to be implemented so that at least they will see reduction of the monies they pay at the port, and that will in turn reflect on customers who also come to buy their spare parts, and that will also even ensure that drivers reduce fares, because usually they say they are not only using fuel but also spare parts are on the rise. So that has been their concern. They want government to address this. Let's listen to what they've been saying today at a press conference.
They have incremented all the item prices. There is an adjustment. There is the item that they charge for maybe $7 or $5. Now it's about $10, $12. So the same duty that we are paying the time that there was 16 plus and 17 plus, that duty that we are paying is the same as now the dollar is 10 plus. The same duty. So how can you reduce the goods? That's why we are appealing the government, because so that people will not see us, we are the one that we don't want to comply.
We were clearing Voxy at 35,000 to 40,000 previously, but right now, as we speak now, it's about 50,000 to 60,000. There's been an appreciation of the value. It is on this note that we, Swami Spare Parts Dealers Association, are humbly calling on President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to fulfill his promises at the flat rate duties at our port of entries.
And you just heard the Sam Swami magazine dealers. Ibrahim Abubakar is still on the line with us to conclude the conversation. Ibrahim, yes, they've held a press conference and we just heard them. Have they engaged customs officials, and has there been any response if they have?
Well, they said they have for some time been engaging with the Ministry of Trade and Industry with regards to this issue, and even though they have been given assurance, they don't appear to see anything being done, because they were expecting this to reflect in the budget, but they are hoping that in the mid-year budget they will see government implementing the flat rate. When that is done, then it means that they will also be able to reduce prices of spare parts, and customers will also be able to enjoy.
Ibrahim Abubakar is our Ashanti regional correspondent. Thank you very much for bringing us those details. Now, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwame Govins Abuja, is currently on a one-day working tour to inspect key road projects in Aveyime and along the Eastern Corridor. One of the major projects under inspection is the 23.9-kilometer Asutrare Volivo Aveyime Road, which is under the Big Push agenda, the $53 million project funded by the African Development Bank and OPEC and executed by China Ashiashi International Economic and Technical Cooperation Company, began in December 2024 and is expected to be completed by 2026. The tour comes ahead of the expected release of some 4 billion Ghana cedis this month to offset part of the 21 billion Ghana cedi debt owed to road contractors across the country. Let's hear the Road Minister speaking earlier to journalists.
I will be surprised that after you did a diversion to a bypass to avoid the situations, you are still talking about compensation of structures significantly. Of course, if the project was approved and the right-of-way established before anybody goes to build in the right-of-way, we are under no obligation to honor, because it's becoming a habit of some people that immediately they know government intends to build a road along a certain corridor. People take advantage to go and build in the right-of-way, hoping that they'll be compensated. And that must not be encouraged, because when the project is being put together in terms of cost, and then there was no structure there, the cost does not include the new structures that will come after the cost has been settled. And in a particular project like this, where AFDD and other people are there, when they settle the cost, you can't just come back and say that, unfortunately, when we went back home, we saw another 2 buildings in the right-of-way. So the law must apply. If somebody, of course, those who crops and other things you are going to destroy, you need to compensate. But rice doesn't grow for 1 year. So I would have been, if it's compensation for where they farm, I will understand.
And you had the Roads and Highways Minister Kwame Govins Abuja. In a bid to boost sustainable energy solutions and combat climate change, Ghana and Uganda have launched a collaborative initiative to ensure technical expertise. The partnership saw a delegation from Uganda's Electricity Generating Company Limited Power Authority Generating Station, marking a significant step in strengthening bilateral energy cooperation. And we'll bring you that special report in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to srenews.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3 FM.
It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day.